It's been a decade of signs and wonders.
10 years.
It's pretty extraordinary.
It is just the most remarkable achievement.
It's a very conscious act to go and make a motion picture, let alone think about launching and sustaining a cinematic universe. I mean, nobody had even heard of that 5-6 years ago.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names.
Pretty awesome to see this collective, isn't it? I mean, just to be a part of it.
You couldn't fit any more people on that poster, and everyone deserves to be there. You know, and everyone has fought for their place in the MCU.
It's such an amazingly humble group of people, and everyone's easy to work with that are team players.
Surprise! This will be such fun. I love all these actors. They've made it so fun. It's like a big family.
Good. Evans was a bit off, but I think most.
Really, we're all having fun, and we're really allowed to be the best versions of whatever these giant movies are.
You're given a set of circumstances and a script, and you go try to put your secret sauce on that and make it fun and entertaining. And I think what's extraordinary is how that baton has been passed in such a magnanimous way from all these franchises.
I am Groot!
I am Steve Rogers.
Now bring them all together. It's just so epic. Are you yawning?
To have created these different worlds and made them so sort of full and rich and then bring them all together for these last two movies, it's so great.
It's really been 10 years in the making. It is a very, very unique film.
I'm glad it's worked out this way, because we have been working our asses off for a while.
To have come this far, 19 movies, 10 years, and still be going, and still have people wanting it, and still be doing something that's new and profound and culturally significant, that's a dream come true.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. So Marvel and the original Avengers are celebrating their 10th anniversary, saying, look at what we've done with these characters, look at the financial success that we've turned this studio into. They're the bedrock of what happens in the next 10 years with all these different movies, all the sacrifice, all the character turns. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's a new round of that Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Most people are freaking out because they do think that people will die during Avengers 4 and never come back, but trust me, these are billion-dollar characters, these are franchises. Toys will not sell if these characters go away for forever, which is where you get into multiverse, time travel, all kinds of narrative devices that allow them to kill people to catalyze the team. That's typically what happens in a big team-based movie like this. One of the people that you love dies, that brings the rest of them together. They're not saying goodbye for forever, and I'm not talking about Soul Gem, Black Panther, Spider-Man twists where they come right back. You kill all these people, but they literally the next year show right up. Avengers 4 is meant to be this bookend, so anybody that dies at the end of that movie is not coming back in the future anytime soon, which, why I mentioned multiverse and time travel. Because we have a couple franchises that are going to be set during the past, and we have a Young Avengers movie that's coming up in the future, which is a perfect opportunity to introduce Kang the Conqueror. Imagine Young Avengers jumping all over the timeline. That's a perfect place to cameo younger versions of pre-existing characters, like a really young version of Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, or a younger version of Nick Fury, younger than 90s Captain Marvel Nick Fury. He's going to be in his 40s during the events of that movie, so you have to imagine that he's probably seen even crazier stuff that he isn't telling people about, because he is the keeper of all Marvel secrets. It all comes back to that Winter Soldier quote.
Nobody spills the secrets because nobody knows them all, except you.
The way Kevin Feige teased the plot of Avengers 4 is that he said it's all about the original Phase 1 characters, remember, because they're the ones that survived the finger snap, coming together and learning what it means to be true heroes, true Avengers. Usually narrative turns like that require a blood sacrifice to solidify those bonds. It catalyze the team so that you believe in the future that nothing will ever be strong enough to break them the way that Thanos broke them during Infinity War. Because in a very broad sense, the whole idea of why they lost is that they were split up. They weren't a true team. Like Captain America and Iron Man weren't on the same page. And even though they were at their A game, they were at their most powerful, Iron Man had his most extreme technology, it still wasn't enough to take down Thanos. Even on the DVD commentary, the Russos were talking about how Thor almost got Thanos, but he made a mistake because he was acting solo. The whole idea of Avengers 4 is that they all go in on the same page when they finally try to take him down for good. And the cool thing is that, yeah, this is a bookend, so obviously they have to deal with Thanos completely so that going forward, he's not a big problem. But like we talk about characters coming back during movies set during the past, like even if Captain America is one of the people that dies, you can bring him back in a movie that's set during the past. Josh Brolin has already said that he wants to come back for the Eternals franchise, which might also be set during the past. The Eternals is a really weird franchise. We don't know exactly where it's going to be set during the timeline, but it's an opportunity to do ancient history in the MCU. Think of it like Knights of the Old Republic in terms of the Star Wars timeline, set during the distant past, but you have all these crazy heroes. Kevin Feige pitched it as sort of an ancient alien situation, all this crazy mythology in present day that's based on the stuff that they did. Thanos wasn't really born till later in their timeline, and he didn't spend a lot of time on Earth until present day when he was actually trying to go after either the Cosmic Cube in the comics or during the events of the Infinity Saga, which is what we're seeing play out right now. Kevin Feige did say that we would see different versions of pre-existing characters. I think that's him sort of introducing the concept of passing mantles to other characters, but also the idea of the multiverse. I know there are lots of questions and theories about the actual plot of Avengers 4, but just from a narrative device and setting things up for the next 10 years, Kevin Feige needs to keep certain characters around because they're such big franchises. Like if there's no more Iron Man or Captain America, for instance, those toys will slowly stop selling as much. And that means billions of dollars that Disney would be out. They don't want that. So you just have to think about the different ways that you keep characters around so that you keep toys in stores, which is a really funny way to think about character development, but that's sort of the box that they operate in. It's the same thing with the Millennium Falcon in the Star Wars franchise. It is far and away one of the most popular toys in the history of Star Wars. Lucasfilm found out a long time ago that if they stopped putting the Falcon in movies, then it would stop selling as much, meaning that they would be out billions of dollars. It's the same deal with all the Avengers and their toys. Like Spider-Man, for instance, probably one of the most valuable brands amongst comic book characters in the world. That's why it's so important that Sony and Marvel keep their sharing arrangement intact, just because the character is so important to what's happening in the MCU right now, but also Sony is never going to let that character go if they can't help it. So just cross your fingers that everything goes well between Marvel and Sony in the next year. They re-sign that sharing arrangement so they don't have to take Tom Holland away, because he and Black Panther are two of the most important characters going into Phase 4 in important franchises just in general. But what'll happen is there was a whole bunch of other stuff that dropped this week, so I'll try to get through the videos as fast as possible. Leave your video requests in the comments below, too. I'll name a new giveaway winner when I post new Marvel. Click here to learn more about what's going on with Phase 4, Deadpool, and the X-Men franchises, and click here to rewatch those Infinity War deleted scenes. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.